Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another match reaction. Manchester City won, Manchester United won. Manchester City win 7-6 on penalties, which is wild. We scored 7 penalties in the shootout and actually won one. But I'll get into all that in a little bit. We won the Community Shield. We finally decided to win one after a while of losing them in various spectacular ways. But we've decided to win one, start the season off in a good way. Few different performances that I should probably talk about from certain players, maybe some positives and negatives. I'm not reading too much into it. It's only the Community Shield. I would have said that regardless of whether we would have won or lost. It is only the Community Shield. I'm really not reading too much into it. Like a lot of players out there, it was their first real minutes because, I mean, you know, there was a significant number of them that didn't go on pre-season, so you know, there's enough to be excited about, but there's also some, you know, there's no need for overreaction or anything. But, you know, getting a trophy, you know, regardless of how important the game is and how highly regarded the game is, getting a trophy is still a positive thing. So, you know, we take that and we move. Before I go and break the game down, if you do me a massive favour, please leave a like on this video. It'll be massively appreciated, and subscribe if you are new. But let's break it down. I mean, let's just talk about the overall game first. It was a very, very boring game. I mean, at least in the first half, I don't think either side was particularly too bothered. To 0 shots on target in the first half. It was, you know, we hit the post. Maybe a couple other moments, but again, no shots on target, so nothing really, you know, nothing really exciting in the first half, to be honest. I don't think either team was particularly trying at that point. I mean, both teams kind of knew that, you know, it's a derby and there is a trophy on the line, so you do still kind of want to win. But I mean, it's pretty evident that it wasn't like the FA Cup final or, you know, a Premier League game where, you know, there was real desire to go and put in a really good performance and win the game. But, you know, the second half kicks into gear, a few substitutions from United. They made theirs first. We made a couple of subs. And then the game livened up a little bit. I thought that we committed more men forward. There was more space for United to work with. They scored their goal from a couple of mistakes. We didn't defend particularly well. Nunes lost the ball in midfield. And then we kind of just watched Garnacho cut inside and shoot. I know it's his weaker left foot, and you know, you can argue that they did the right thing, which is, you know, show him inside onto his left because he's right-footed. But, you know, having 2 or 3 players just sitting there watching him cut inside on the edge of the box into a shooting position is it's not ideal. But, you know, regardless, we move on. You know, we make a few more substitutions late on in the game. Bernardo Silva comes on. Savio comes on for his debut, who I'll talk about in a bit. And then moving on even later into the game, De Bruyne and Ake come on. And then out of the blue, our only shot on target, by the way, which I think, you know, regardless of Community Shield or not, I think only having 1 shot on target in 90 minutes and it coming in like minute 88 or, you know, whenever Bernardo Silva scored 88, 89, it might have even been 90. But the fact that we only had 1 shot on target is pretty bad. Again, regardless of Community Shield, whether you're trying to win it, whether it's just for fitness, whether you give a shit or not, you know, only 1 shot on target is pretty poor. But our only shot on target was a goal. It was the equaliser. And by that point, you know, it moves straight onto penalties. And, you know, I do want to talk about a few performances before I get on to the actual penalty shootout, because I feel like it's a disservice just leaving it there. I thought, you know, Doku looked, you know, there were bright sparks there with Doku. You could tell it was his first game, because I think the end product still needs a little bit working on. The decision making, just, it still leaves a little bit to be desired. So I think he can get better there. But again, few bright spots, taking men on, getting past them, which is good to see. Again, his first minutes of the season, he didn't play at all in pre-season. So again, if he makes a few mistakes, I'm okay with it. Oscar Bob, again, first half, he looked really, really, really good. Taking on players, you know, making the right decisions, picking out players, trying to create things, make things happen, which again is something that I kind of said on the previous show, of which, you know, normal football is different to pre-season. Pre-season games are a bit more open and teams are trying to play football. This is going to be his first test because, you know, United set up to, you know, defend and counter-attack. because most teams do against us. It's normal, so it's a different ball game essentially to what he was doing in preseason. But he dealt with it well. He still made things happen. Maybe quietened a little bit in the second half. I think his end product kind of, at least in the second half, his end product just wasn't really there until the assist for the equaliser. So showed up in big moments. I think he's made a big claim to keep his place. Even though Savio came on and looked bright, I think Oscar Bob has made a real claim to start again against Chelsea on Sunday. So, we'll wait and see what happens on that one. I do want to touch on Grealish as well. Really unfortunate. We spent a long time on the preview talking up Grealish in terms of how this is a big season and how, this is a big opportunity. And for him to be injured in training and not be able to play is a real blow for him. I do feel bad because, the way things are going, he didn't have a good season last season. He had a pretty good pre-season. And then he wasn't available to play today. It just feels like everything's kind of going against him. It's totally out of his control. He didn't want to get injured in training, but it's just the way the cards fall. Doku comes in, plays okay. Savio comes on, which I'll get on to now. And again, bright sparks from Savio. This is his first ever game. Didn't play pre-season again, so this is his first minutes. But this is, his first minutes for the club. So, he's even further behind everyone else because he's never played for the club before. And again, bright moments, played off the left, which I don't know how many times we'll see him play off the left. I imagine the plan is to get him on the right at some point. I think that's kind of what we bought him for. But again, great first touch, wants to dribble, keeps the ball well, understands what we want to do, already seems to have a decent understanding of what we want to do. Some good crosses into the box, great corners, by the way. I want to say great corners, which is something that, if he's going to be able to take corners, he should start every week because we can't take them. So some good deliveries from crossing positions, which again is something that I feel like a lot of our wingers have been a bit inconsistent with. Is a lot of the times the crossing isn't great. So that's something he can add. And again, taking corners. We need someone to be able to take good corners. And then we move on to penalties just quickly, which again, I don't. I'm not reading into it too much. We always have horrid luck with penalties. We never seem to win shootouts, but we won one. I did put out a tweet. I did say that, I can't remember the last time we had a goalkeeper save a penalty, and, he saves one. And it was a crucial time as well, because, Sancho scores that penalty. It's looking like United would have won. I think they would have been 4-2 up at that point, or, 4-3. I can't exactly remember the score. I think it would have been 4-3. Maybe 4-2 with us to take, I think, would have been the score there. So it was a really important penalty save. So, look, listen, penalties are penalties. It's a lottery. It's based on luck. We lost last year in the Community Shield on penalties. We won this year in the Community Shield on penalties. I'm not reading too much into it. There are a few good penalties. Obviously, Edison taking one is still wild to me, but he's one of our better takers. Though Nunes' penalty was probably the best of the lot. Akanji's penalty was good. So, there's things to take there. Bernardo Silva probably shouldn't take a penalty again because that's 2 in 2 that he's missed for us now. But again, it's a lottery. There's really not much to read into with penalties. But I'm happy we won. We take that. We get sort of revenge for the FA Cup. Although, if you were to ask me which one I would have preferred, I would have preferred for us to have won the FA Cup instead of this one. But again, we take it. We still take it. It's still a trophy. We've lost the last couple of these, so it's good to get it back. Good to get a winning feeling at the start of the season. And it could be important. You never know. With new players coming in, you look at the likes of, Savio's there. Nico O'Reilly made his debut today. Players like that to be off to a winning start in terms of getting a trophy straight off the bat. You never know. That could help in the long run, because they've already got a taste for winning now. So they kind of should know what it feels like to get over the line a little bit. It's not one of the major ones, so I'm not reading into that too much. But every little helps. You know what I mean? You never know. These small things could add up over the course of a season. So that'll about do it from me. Let me know what you thought of the game down below in the comments. Again, very boring. I'm looking at the stats here. We had 1 shot on target. United had 2 shots on target. It was pretty boring. But the penalties were actually entertaining, even though we, I'm not saying that just because we won. There were some very good penalties in there. Onana was doing his best to make a clown of himself, moving to one side of the goal and then moving back and shouting at players. So it was entertaining shootout. There was drama and centre-backs taken and all sorts. So listen, we take that. Let me know who your man of the match was. I think Oscar Bob got it. Got the official man of the match, which again I think is warranted. I think he was probably our most dangerous player. Got the assist for the equaliser. So look, that's where I'm going to leave this video. If you do me a massive favour on your way out, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new. We just hit 9.2k on the road to 10k. There will be a Grealish video out in the next couple of days whenever I've finished editing the video, and then of course maybe if there's any transfer news we'll cover it in the week, and then there is build up to Chelsea. So we'll see you hopefully with a bit of transfer news, because there is word that we might be signing a player.